What's going on, everybody? We are back here in some more Legends. Now, today I wanted to talk about something that I actually do kind of need to get off my chest. Um, there's, as everybody knows, that there's been a huge shift in the gaming industry in recent years and everything. Um, and there's a couple of like moto games that are really in the category of really good. Now, I've always explained, in certain type of instances where um, there is a very big difference between simulator players and arcade players. And the thing is when people talk about this type of thing, they tend to go a little bit overboard and um, they tend to um, relate to an old generation where that generation don't work and with the new generation. So some of you probably know that there's a couple of tubers, a couple of content creators out there who are just like this. I'm not name dropping or anything like that, but there's just this instance where you have people who are both simulator players and both arcade players. And they like to throw out criticism in all of the wrong places. So, do mind you that I try not to make my content controversial at all. I try to steer away from this type of stuff, but sometimes this type of thing needs to be said. So this is kind of going back to some of the content for Motocross the game. Now, I've been hearing around that people are saying that the Arena Cross um, broadcast or something like that kind of, I'd say, promote Motocross the game. And then there was a video for MX Bikes attached to Motocross the game's name. Um, Now this instant, I haven't seen anywhere else. I haven't found it online. I tried searching it up, and I haven't really found anything like it. So, coming back to what I've said before, there is an instance where there are players who put feedback into a game that really has no necessary of being there. So there's people who are saying motocross games is a scam. It's a scam. Um, there's there's a Kickstarter. They had to raise money and blah blah blah. Well, there it's just like any other game. Like you need money to develop a game. Like it's not that hard to really put it in question. Like they're not a AAA studio with multi-million dollars. It's not that hard to really know that they need the support of the community to make a game like this happen. And when somebody has harsh criticism talking about that, it's not it's a scam. It's not what you think it is. Blah blah blah. It's the same people who made paid tracks on MX bikes and everything. Like yeah, they got to make their money somehow. Like they're not a triple A studio. They're not. They're nothing like that, and they're putting a lot of effort and money into this game. and to have really harsh criticism when a game is still in early development, it just kind of really tells you about their whole opinion about the motocross community in a whole. So it kind of bothers me a little bit that people tend to look at a game and look at it like, oh, this game is trash. It's not going to be fun. Um, there's Everybody knows that there's been a prominent problem with the gaming industry in the last few years. Like there's been games dropping that are buggy. They're not finished and everything like it, and it's just quality over quantity. And you know I've seen this for myself. Like uh, you know take take the most recent Resident Evil for instance, not the Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm talking about the Resident Evil 3 remake. Now, I don't know if that was a remake or if that was like a reboot or something like that, but that game was so short, and I regret to this day paying $60 for a game that I finished in 7 hours. When I have games that I've played almost 200 hours on in campaign modes, from God of War to Skyrim to all types of those games. But what really does bug me the most is that you know so most of the time when people look at a moto game, criticize it, they look at it like if it's not MX Simulator or MX versus ATV Reflex, the game's trash. Now, I've had the luxury and opportunity to be able to play Reflex from the actual Xbox 60 days into the backwards compatibility, which that one doesn't feel as good. Now, everybody knows, Reflex is a very great game. I've said this before on the channel. Like, Reflex is, it's good. Reflex is good. But there is a point in time where if you start to overuse that type of mindset in the moto community, people are just gonna laugh at you. Like, Reflex is a great game and all. Some of the best terrain deformation. Legends is starting to get up there. The terrain deformation here in Legends is not as good as Reflex, but it's getting up there. Like a lot of the physics and everything for this game are getting better every update. And 2 years later, they are still actively updating this game. They listen to community feedback and everything, know, and right now this game is in a very great state of, it's in a great state, and to really have people be so harsh on a game like this that's getting actively updated and everything like that. Not other than like Milestone when they just put an update out for a couple of updates, a couple of fixes here and there for the game, but that game has been the same every year. Like it's not prominent. It's not as relevant as Legends is. 2 years and we're still getting new content. So, and that's why I've invested most of my money into this game because of how much content this game has. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's paid DLC. It's paid DLC." Well, sometimes you have to pay if you want the good shit. But the base game is still fun. Like the base game is still very fun. But if you're trying to look to expand your gameplay, DLC is the way to go. So, but anyway, there, I think people need to start really chilling out on on opinions about games that don't need to be there. Now, I know for a sheer fact. that most of the community that's supporting motocross the game is a majority of the MX Bikes community. Uh, and MX Bikes is not a full simulator. Everybody knows this, but everybody knows that the game is not a polished game at all. So I know for a fact that the game, the motocross the game, is no scam. Like you know, until we see actual gameplay for this game, opinions are need to be left aside. That's what my opinion is. That's where it needs to stay. Until we see gameplay for this game, why why even throw out your criticism? If you don't know what the game is, or just looking at it, oh, it's a scam, it's a cheap marketing move, or they don't even the game is still early development, and they have to they can't throw out a game that's not finished and then have everybody shit on that because it's not finished. Like that doesn't make sense. You would rather have a company, promote the game's name instead of uh seeing gameplay, because if they would see unfinished work in progress alpha gameplay, people are just gonna shit on it. Like that's the bottom line of it. And you know to have harsh criticism, this goes for any game. Like this goes for any game. I've seen that there's been a lot of people shitting on the new Grand Theft Auto 6 because it's not to people's liking. Like you know everybody can give Rockstar shit every year, but every time they drop a new game, it's they always deliver. You know, Red Dead Redemption 2 is marked as probably one of the most best games in years. Uh, and then you have the game Bully. You have Rockstar is probably the most less controversial company out there aside from Ubisoft, Blizzard, Activision. And it goes to show, like you know, it really goes to show that the community is not as what it used to be. That goes for Call of Duty. Call of Duty's done, dude. Like Call of Duty's trash. That game is done. And to have people really defend the whole skill-based matchmaking bullshit and everything like that, like it's dude, Call of Duty is done. I would rather play. I would rather play Battlefield more than I would Call of Duty nowadays. Even though Battlefield has skill-based matchmaking, it's not it's not the skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty, or like so and most of the time I would I turn towards simulators, to like a lot of the milsims, a lot of that. It's coming to a point in gaming where the gaming community is toxic. There's a lot of opinions going around. There's a lot of opinions being invalid for other people's point of views and everything. Like it's just not there anymore. So, um, motocross the game, until that game actually shows real gameplay, I people's opinions shouldn't really have any kind of credibility. I will say that straight up. Like, if you're somebody who criticizes a game that's not finished or it's still in development or something like that, like, you know, everybody has an opinion. They're entitled to their own opinions. But, it's going to have no credibility. It's just really shit on a game that's not even, that's not even finished. That's still in development, you know? and having a Kickstarter to have all that money to, to make something like this possible. Like they need, it takes money to, put a game onto console. It's not like Steam, or it's not like anything like that. Like, they're putting this game on console. That's that's not cheap. So I this is I've been, like I said, I've been holding off on making this video for quite a while now. I can't say I haven't been wanting to make it, because I have been. I didn't want to make it, but I have been wanting to make it for a while. The last couple of weeks, in fact. Um, Again, I'm not gonna name drop or anything like that, but um, I think that's about it for this video. It was just something I needed to get off my chest real quick. If you guys want, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Give this video a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.